This marks the 18th part of this manhwa. If you haven't viewed the previous parts, you can access it by clicking the I button located above, or the link is provided in description. Let's aim for 200 likes on today's video. To show your support, consider subscribing to the channel. Let's begin our recap video for today's manhwa. Seeing Feng Duing slap his own face, Yongli worriedly inquired, "What is he doing?" Feng Duing responded by saying he was checking if it is a dream, but it's not. Witnessing all this, Qin Jinyang felt embarrassed and thought to himself, "Does he think this is a joke?" The girl whispered to Mr. Miao, "It's Qin Jinyang." She didn't expect him to be the examiner. "What about their seating?" Mr. Miao shouted. "Shut the fuck up, bitch! He's received the money anyway. If he doesn't do as they agreed, he will tell others that he took bribes. They will both be punished." Then Qin Jinyang stated, "Now, he will announce the seating chart. Disciples, when they hear their names, they can enter Wanjun Cave and take their seats in order." A little later, as all of them seated in Wanjun Cave, Mr. Miao thought, he still let him sit in the place with the richest spiritual qi, and he let them sit around him just as they agreed. But he also added seating of Yongli and Duoying. Yongli thought, if Miao Dongge wants to use his spiritual qi gathering formation to distribute the spiritual qi to his 5 fellows, he must pass it to him and Duoying first. They will be the biggest beneficiaries. How clever Jinyang is! Duoying thought. After the test, he must ask him when he entered the upper hall. He never mentioned it before them. Miao thought, only 6 people can be recruited this time. If they pass the test, 2 of his fellows will be eliminated. Damn it! Qin Jinyang took advantage of him. Qin Jinyang announced they will test their root bones now. He asked Bing Bing to please release the pressure. She started immediately, emitting crimson red qi flowing from her into the testing area. They all started to meditate immediately. A little while later, one person started to struggle and thought, he can't hold on anymore. The low rank of the silvery flower level. Looks like he can never enter the upper hall in his life. Then he looked towards Duoying, who is at the top rank of the silvery flower level, and is close to the golden branch level. Seeing this, Qin Jinyang thought, so he didn't lie to him. A monk helped him improve his root bone. He is so jealous. Duoying has so many lucky breaks. Then he raised his hand and announced, the first test is over. Those whose root bones are at the low rank of the silvery flower level may leave Wanjun Cave. He then turned to Bing Bing again and asked her to remove the seal now. However, Mr. Miao thought, forget it. He can do nothing but accept it now. He will try his best to distribute spiritual qi. The amount of spiritual qi that his fellows can get depends on their own abilities. At least he didn't break his promise. Otherwise, if they expose what he did in despair, he will be doomed. However, his thoughts were interrupted when Qin Jinyang, seated behind him, that surprised him, and he asked, what is he doing here? Qin Jinyang replied, there is rich spiritual qi in Wanjun Cave. Of course, he should seize this opportunity to cultivate. And he also paid for it, so don't worry yourself. Both Yongli and Duoying laughed and stated, well done, Jinyang. Seeing this, Bing Bing wondered if he was pretending to be stingy. He could be generous enough to let all disciples bathe in dark pond, but at the same time, he never misses any small gains. She stood up from her seat and shouted, silence, the 2-hour countdown now begins. And she removed the seal. Then a large amount of spiritual qi surrounded them, causing them to become a little nervous. But Mr. Miao immediately used his formation to gather most of the spiritual qi towards himself. He turned around and thought, Qin Jinyang sits here without absorbing the spiritual qi from his formation. What trick is he playing? But Qin Jinyang thought he was right. Miao Dongge's spiritual qi gathering formation is just a spiritual qi source swirl. It can be absorbed by spiritual green jade. A system window popped up showing information. The spiritual qi source swirl is detected. The essence collecting tool can be charged. Will he consume his potential points to accelerate the process? And he thought, no hurry. He will let Duoying and Yongli absorb some spiritual qi first, and then he will take it all after they finish. As an hour passed, Qin Jinyang stopped his cultivation and think. As the deputy examiner, it's time for him to check their spiritual qi refining progress. Miao Dongge is the fastest currently as he has the spiritual qi gathering formation. Duoying has the strongest root bone, and with the benefit of the spiritual qi gathering formation, he is the second fastest, just a little behind Miao Dongge. Yongli must have some unusual capability. The 5 pals of Miao Dongga are doing well too. The remaining 3 places in the upper hall have to be taken by them, but 2 of them have to be eliminated. Then the spiritual chi provided to Doing through the formation was suddenly stopped, and in surprise he looked toward Miao. Miao, with a smile, noted, "What is he looking at? Does he think it's fair game to steal his spiritual chi? It's a pipe dream. He won't let him have it." And Miao thought, with Qin Jinyang's disruption, 2 of the 5 persons cannot pass the exam. Since he will definitely offend the 2, the other 3 who can be selected might not be loyal to him. It makes no sense to keep sending spiritual chi. As he stopped sending them spiritual chi, she shouted, "He dishonest bastard! Give us back the money!" But their talk was interrupted by Qin Jinyang saying, "Quiet! If anyone makes noise again, he will have to ask them out." Miao thought, why would he take out the money he has already pocketed? Then his spiritual chi became less and less, and he thought, what's going on? He has taken back the distributed spiritual chi. Why did the spiritual chi around him become less? Where is it? Then he noticed Qin Jinyang, who was absorbing spiritual chi with the help of the system. Meanwhile, Miao thought, did he lose control of his power? But why is the spiritual chi gathering formation still working? What the hell happened? An hour later, Bing Bing announced, "Time is up. The exam is over." Miao coughed up blood on his leaf and thought, what the hell? He had to provide the spiritual chi gathering formation with the spiritual chi in his dantian, and he couldn't shut the formation by any means. And Qin Jinyang thought, Miao Dongga's spiritual chi gathering formation is helpful. A little later outside the Wanjun cave, Qin Jinyang stated, he is going to announce the ranking of the exam this time. The top 6 contestants will be admitted to the upper hall. One person from the gathered crowd stated, he heard, that Qin Jinyang was once a handyman. He is the deputy examiner now. Meanwhile, he noted, the first place, Feng Duiying, the disciple of the Hosheng Hall. And at 6th place, Wang Qizhong, the disciple of the Wenning Hall. Wang Qizhong shouted while crying, Dad, has he seen this in heaven? He made it. He entered the upper hall. The girl from before raised her arm and shouted, wait a minute, she want to report. There was cheating, a scandal of this exam, the biggest scandal of Helan Grange. She wants to report that the deputy examiner Qin Jinyang took bribes and manipulated the exam results. He used his power to seek personal gains. However, Miao thought, stupid woman, she is seeking death. Bing Bing stated, Jinyang was picked by Mr. Su personally to be the deputy examiner. Does she know the consequence of accusing him of something he hasn't done without evidence? But her talk was interrupted by him, saying, she is right, he did take some money. She was shocked by his answer. At that moment, people of the penalty hall arrived. The girl quickly went to them and asked, is they coming to arrest Qin Jinyang? She has solid evidence. But the person said, get out of the way. She grabbed his arm and said she does have evidence. She requests another examination. The Helan Grange has scandals. The person pushed her away, causing her to crash to the ground. The person moved forward and ordered, Miao Dongga, come with them to the penalty hall. He surprisingly asked, is he really telling this to him? He shouted no, why would they catch him? They got the wrong person, didn't they? He is not Qin Jinyang. He is. At the moment the guard that worked for Miao, which seems quite injured, shouted it's him. Miao Dongga of the Wenning Hall. He forced him. That caused him to tremble in fear. Wenqing appeared on the stage and explained Miao Dongga of the Wenning Hall colluded with the servant of the main hall to explore the secret of the Helan Grange. That's a felony. Mr. Su consented to Jinyang's taking bribes. That was a trap to catch the spy. Qin Jinyang bowed and said that's what I should do. She stated he should be given credit for catching the spy in the Grange through the exam. Order the penalty hall people to take Miao away. The person replied they will punish him, she can be assured. While Miao showed to Qin Jinyang, he schemed against him. You wait, he will get his revenge. In anger, Doing said, does that guy still want to work against Jinyang in the future even in such a situation? You only note there is no future for him. Mr. Su always takes the secret of the main hall seriously. Miao Dongga is doomed. Qin Jinyang stated Wenqing that he found that 5 people gave bribes to Miao Dongga to cheat in this exam. She noted the 5 people didn't commit felonies, but they did something they shouldn't have done, invalidate their test results then. The girl began to cry about her money, and Qizhong exclaimed, Dad, he is finished. And Wenqing announced the exam is over. 3 days later, he stated he has been helping Wenqing with her cultivation lately. That's exhausting. By the way, did she say they had a makeup exam? She explained the positions hadn't all been filled in the last exam, so Mr. Su held another exam personally just the day before yesterday. In this exam, Zhao Liangjue, Gu Konghe, and Wang Qizhong were ranked among the top 3 and were admitted to the upper hall. He noted the first 2 seemed to be his acquaintances. At the moment, Duing shouted his name and said, "Bad news, come with him to the main hall." He worriedly asked what happened. At main hall, Mr. Su asked, did he say he will leave the grange to look for his master? Yongli responded by yes and requested please approve his request. Liangjue said, calm down. He was just admitted to the upper hall. His fame is just starting. It's not sensible to leave now. But he thanked him and said but he have made up his mind. Then Bingbing stated it's noble of him to care about his master so much, but to look for a person worldwide is just like searching for a needle in a haystack. He also thanked her for her kind reminder, but he can ask around on his way. Hard work will pay off. He has confidence that he will find his master. Duing said to Jinyang, he is Yongli's good friend. Please talk some sense into him, otherwise, he will leave the grange. He replied by saying don't try to stop him. He knows him. He values the bonding much more than his prospects. At the moment Mr. Ao announced I'm back. Jinyang, you brat. He heard on his way back that the upper hall has brought new blood. There are really many new faces here. Mr. Su stated he must have had a hard journey. He came back suddenly. Did anything happen to Zhao Jiqi that he was spying on? He note don't mention him. Bright Cloud Sect sent a messenger to ask him to go back to the sect, saying that Prince Wan was going to arrive in Yundong province. Maybe Bright Cloud Sect wants to get the qualification to build martial arts hall. Mr. Su, he should send Mr. Ding to do that kind of job next time. Oh, speaking of Mr. Ding. He heard on his way that Mr. Ding was injured badly and had left the grange. Is that true? Mr. Su sighed, it's true. See, here's his disciple. He was just admitted to the upper hall, but he wants to leave to look for his master today. After he find his master and get his things done, don't forget to come back to the grange. He will always keep the position in the upper hall open for him. He thanked Mr. Su, and Mr. Su turned to Mr. Ao, asked to come with him to his study. He has something important to talk about with him. This marks the conclusion of the 18th part of this manhwa. The 19th part will be uploaded soon. To show your support for the channel and help speed up the release of recaps for your favorite manhwa, please consider giving a super thanks. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.